Okay, we'll start this. Oh my god, my legs are so white. Okay, that's a blooper.
I'm pretty brown.
Yeah. Don't look at my legs. Okay. All right. We're gonna start.
We're good.
This is our client Amy, and she had a few areas in her home that we organized and also decluttered. And just want to go over the process that she experienced by working with Gone. And if anything, I'm gonna just have Amy take it away with just tell me how your experience was, and have you ever worked with the organizer in the past, and how did that go?
Yeah. I have worked with organizers in the past. I feel like I've always struggled with having too much stuff and just feeling completely overwhelmed. And you really helped me just because I was able to get rid of stuff, but having that person we talked about, that like body double, it just allowed me to do it. So I wasn't really able to make progress in between our sessions. The systems were amazing. I just needed that like support. So having someone actually like next to me and go through stuff and help me know what I wanted to keep was really important. I felt like we were really intentional with what we decided to keep, give away, and I didn't feel any type of like judgment from you, which I really appreciate.
Yay, no judgment.
Yes, because my house is a mess. I feel like it's been a rough just few years, and a lot of times that manifests like we've talked about, like in your home and what you keep, and it really is life-changing being able to like get rid of all of that physical baggage. Really is a symbol of getting rid of emotional baggage too, you know? And so yeah, really I would say it is life-changing, and it is super helpful because I feel like I can enjoy my home more instead of just looking at all the things I need to tackle. And so being able to like be a little bit more at peace in my home still while keeping the things I want, you know, it's been so helpful.
Awesome. I love that. And then Amy mentioned body doubling. So what body doubling is that when you're an organizer, you're working one-on-one with your client. You're there and you are helping them with the specific tasks of just being there. That's really is like the main thing, is just being there, being encouraging towards any of the tasks that need to be done, and just making sure that it is completed, and you know, we have fun with it. I almost pissed my pants a few minutes ago because we dropped a few things, but you know, I mean, like that's the thing, is when you're working in someone's home, what makes it different versus like, hey, I'm a friend coming over, right? Well, I feel like I love Amy, and I feel like she is my friend, and that's what happens when you work with clients, is that they become friends and you also just care about them. You know, I'm wanting only the best for her on to her next journey as she moves. And one other question I had for you is, you know, you have a family. How do you feel like this has impacted your family, seeing that there's new systems now in your home? Yeah.
So I have a 4-year-old and an 8-year-old, and a husband, and them just seeing me clear out so many things, I think they're looking at their things differently. And we talk a lot about, are you ready to give this to another baby or another friend? And they're realizing they don't have to hold on to things forever, and I think that's an important value to pass on to them. Even my daughter at 4 years old, she'll pick a toy and she said, Mom, I'm ready to give this to somebody else. And also, like, we have a space for a certain type of her toys. And like, once we don't have any more space, I'm trying to teach her, okay, we don't have any more space on the shelf, which one do you want to give away? And that like kind of helps her visually see that she can make decisions. And she's actually really good at it.
Yes, I love that.
She's good at it, but I think it has just helped our kids to know that we have to be conscious and intentional about the things coming in and going out, and also really instilling like kind of a little bit of just sustainability of knowing that this stuff, like we don't want all this extra stuff that we don't need, and pass it on to people if other people can use it.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, I love that impact. And something that I was pleasantly surprised. It's something that we talked about, right? Is implementing a bin in the closet space. And it's a sell/donate bin. So whenever Amy has anything that she wants to like let go of, but doesn't immediately want to like go and take it somewhere specifically, but just in that moment of just putting it in the bin is super helpful, right?
Yeah, super helpful.
You implemented this. I mentioned it, but I was pleasantly surprised that she put it into use. So thank you, and I love that it's helpful towards you. So
for sure, and I think because I used to have a doom room where everything I didn't want, I just threw it in there, but then it just was this crazy overwhelming space. So I think having a specific place in each closet where I just know I don't want it anymore. Like, am I gonna sell it? Am I going to give it away? Am I gonna give it to a friend? I just need it out, and then when I do have time and I don't feel too overwhelmed, I can like take one basket at a time.
Yes.
And as you saw, all the bins are empty.
Yes.
Like I can do it.
She did it. She did it.
Yeah. I think it's just like breaking it down, and we've talked about how I know I could do it on my own. It's so much easier when you're here. Just to dedicate that time, you know, to block it off. I got childcare. Like it helps to know that I have that chunk of time, and so in between I wasn't like beating myself up and feeling so guilty because I knew I had it on the schedule, and I knew during that time at least I could focus and I could dial in. And I think you and I have both been very exhausted after some. There was one where I was like laying on the ground, like, oh my gosh, just because it's so many decisions, and that's hard for me, you know, with ADHD, right? Like with that decision paralysis, really, when it's so many items and so many decisions. Just having someone like take one decision at a time. Like, I'm not overwhelmed by my house anymore, but I have been for 10 years.
Wow.
So like all of that. Just not having that overwhelm. Oh gosh, it was completely different.
Yay, free. We feel free from the excess that we don't need, or
totally.
Is there anything else that you would like to mention to everybody of just working one-on-one with not just only myself, but just like working one-on-one with this type of organizing approach? The approach is that I am here, or our organizer is here, and we're making sure that a task is completed, and you know we're not going into too many categories at once. Just just tell me.
For sure. And I've had an organizer come before where we have a space and I was overwhelmed by it, and so organizer just took over and I left. Well, that system was really hard to maintain because it was just all my junk was still there. It was just organized. And so the difference this time is I really had to go through it, and there was a lot of purging, but I had to get rid of it instead of just like continually organizing my junk. And so I feel like that was super valuable, is we actually got rid of stuff that I didn't want, but I needed help to like get through it and get it out. So I think that's different than my previous experience, which was great. It just was not really sustainable because I still just had too much stuff. And I do think that everyone has like a different threshold for how much they could manage, and it turns out my threshold is very low.
Well, the other part of that is that some people would like that approach, right? Just like the organizer goes in and they just deal with it. They don't make, I would want to mention is that the client is always the decision maker. I am just here to help facilitate the decisions from going and happening, right? So with that being said, I think that Amy did such a good job with making the decisions, and I'm more than happy to just, you know, send her on her way, because I feel like she graduated to so graduation music playing. But with that being said, I feel like I know that things are clicking for a client when I notice that the system is working. And when the system doesn't work, Amy is more than happy to tell me when things are not working or it just needs to change. That being said, I wish Amy the very best. And anything else we want to include, or anything I forgot?
I mean, I think it's just like with this specific service, like I think a lot of people, we can do it on our own. I could have done it on my own. I
Sure.
just wasn't.
Mhm.
I
Sure.
like, sure, absolutely. Like, it's not something necessarily that like I couldn't have figured out. I just, with life and with kids, and it just wasn't happening. And so like, how
Mhm.
long was I going to wait, and how long was I going to be overwhelmed before finally getting under control? And for me, I needed help. I needed somebody to come in and do it with me side by side. And everyone might not be that way, but for me,
Right.
and I think just like understanding yourself of like, you know what, is this worth it for me? It was worth it. I'm going to pay my therapist a lot less now. So at the end of the day, like, it's my own mental health, it's my kids' well-being, and obviously like my kids are so much better off if it's like a space where they know where to put their stuff, they know where to find their stuff. So honestly, I feel like it's very important part of mental health.
Yeah.
You know?
Thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah.
I do feel like mental health does play into this, of course, is that maybe in the beginning it may feel uncomfortable. It's going to feel uncomfortable in the beginning, but once you start, it's like potato chips. You can't stop, right? It's endless. And then all of those habits, good habits that we're instilling, it is resonating, and it is actually going down to your children, and they're also making those decisions. So so generational. This is good.
Yeah, for sure. And when we work so hard to get out of the stuff, I'm not then going and like buying a bunch more stuff. It's like that was a lot of work to get rid of. So it's nice because I feel like I'm buying less,
and
which for me is which is really important for me. That I know eventually me making this spend because I want to give myself a little treat or it makes me feel better is eventually going to turn into overwhelm. That's what happens to me, and I don't want that again. So as you can see, I'm not really adding stuff.
No, she hasn't added any stuff. She knows exactly what her children play with. She knows what is going to be placed back into a linen. We're using this linen closet, and that linen closet is rotating toys just to keep the kids stimulated and feel like they're seeing something new even though they played with it maybe months ago. So I've been seeing her just also rotating things in and out, and you've been doing great, and
it's been awesome.
I love working with you, and I know that your journey is going to be great, and I'm always here for you.
Thank you.
And that's pretty much it.
Yay!
That's it. That's all I have. Thank you so much. Thank you for doing that. Okay, bye.